let's talk right away actually about a few of the terms that we're going to use. Feeding is a term, and that just means somebody who's taking energy from you, whether they're doing it deliberately or not. But, they have their tentacles into you. They have their energetic hooks into you, and they're feeding. Well, this gives them a sense of temporary well-being or fullness, but of course it doesn't last very long, and they have to continue the feeding sooner or later. We're going to talk a little bit about using a term called energy virus. We could actually talk for a long, long time about this, but this is what you would say would be a virus of consciousness. It's kind of like what would be a cold or a flu to the physical body. Well, this is an energy virus that's in consciousness, and it has to do a lot with the imbalance of masculine feminine energies within each and every one of us. This virus is not part of a conspiracy. It doesn't belong to anyone. It's just there. It's prevalent, and it actually is something that is really causing people to feed on others, whether they know it or not. We're also going to use the terms victim and abuser. Now, some people will argue the use of those terms, but just for simplicity, a victim is somebody who is had abuse in their life. The abuser is the one carrying out that abuse. And I think it's fair to say that just about everyone has been a victim, and really also just about everyone has been an abuser in one way or the other. But as you know, if you've taken Tobias's sexual energy course, if you're a victim, you're going to be an abuser, period. If somebody has taken your energy, you're going to sooner or later go out and take theirs, even if you're not conscious of it. It's the way feeding works. You can get a big feeding. Some of you had drama this last week in your life. So I'm not looking at anybody in particular, but you had drama in your life. There was that kind of a boost for a brief moment. Even though it was drama, it gave you a little feeding, and you're starting to become more aware of it, and maybe even feeling a little bit guilty about it. But it reminded you you're alive. It actually revitalized your body and every other part of you for a little bit. But then when that goes away, then you're back to reality. You're back to the everyday life, and then you crash. You do an energy crash. Well, the vampire in you then has to go out and get some more energy somewhere else. It's the cycle. It's exactly what Tobias said so profoundly in the sexual energy school. So you have all these dynamics going on, all this feeding taking place, all this vacuum out there in mass consciousness, people feeling and being reinforced by the news that there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough. So they're going to go out and feed and feed. So how do you know if somebody's feeding off of you? How do you know if you have energy vampires in your life? Well, one of the very first symptoms is that you're feeling tired and drained after being around them. Have you ever had it when you're having a conversation with somebody, or, well, I don't even want to call it a conversation, where they're talking at you, and when they finally leave, that you just feel drained, and you're like, thank goodness that they left. Well, they've been stealing energy. They're not just doing it in the words that they speak, but literally as they're speaking, as you're somewhat distracted by the words they're saying, they're at one level or another going in and just kind of munching, kind of stealing your energy. And that's why you feel tired and drained afterwards. Well, another common symptom is when different people in your life cause you to do things that you're really not okay with, but you go ahead and do them anyway. And then you're kind of upset with yourself, and you're like, why do I let myself get talked into these things? Or why am I manipulated into these things? Because that's exactly what they're doing. There's an energy feeding and manipulation taking place. You're going along with it. Another one is feeling an overwhelming sense of obligation or responsibility, like you have to take care of them. Well, a lot of times they put that on you, that, if it wasn't for you, I don't know what I would do, or, you're supposed, if you really love me, you're supposed to do this for me, or whatever it is, they're putting, nobody can do it like you, and they're putting this responsibility on you. That's energy feeding.